take on the world. We're gonna 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 take on the world.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're having a good one. Who's in here already? Smelly Socks, Egg, Owner Chaos, Thomas. Good morning, good morning. And I'm not seeing anyone chit-chatting quite yet on Rumble. Are we lagged? Are we awkwardly lagged? Am I streaming to the right place? Nope, I do see chat on the one. Why am I not seeing chat on the other? Okay, there they are. Silly me. I had the wrong one open. I guess that's how it goes. But good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is a beautiful Tuesday, May the 7th. I hope you already crushed the stair stepper. I hope, similar to me, you got up at the butt crack of dawn when your little jungle cat decided to start ripping apart your feet at 3 a.m. And I'm not talking about on top of the covers. I'm talking about burrowing under the covers to get that claw to skin contact. Anyway, when that happens to you about 3:30 in the morning, you're pretty much wide awake for pretty evident reasons. So you might as well just decide to go to the gym and crush 150 flights. And actually, I had a productive one this morning. I don't know why, but I decided to listen to a systematic trading podcast, and it kind of got me in the mood. So I quickly rushed back here, decided to not do that much prep for the show, and instead bang out some of the code that I've been working on. So I'm testing the waters this morning with a couple new strategies just to see if there's increased performance, decreased performance, the same thing, or if I just like it as a form of diversity. But yep, today at 9:30, when the market opens, not only will we be doing trading competition number 8 between Rumble Chat and YouTube Chat, but we're going to be letting some new algos, some new robots, I guess, loose into the wild of the world's largest casino, aka the old stonk market. Folks, I hope you're having a good one. I hope you're having a good one. I woke up with my butt crack on my roommate Dom. Does that count? Your butt crack was on your roommate? What? I don't even know if that makes sense, like anatomically. We're gonna have to come back to that one because we might need a diagram. We definitely might need a little bit of a diagram on that one. Oh hey, look who came to say hi this morning. Old Piper, the lead engineer. Anyway, do you have anything to say to the community? This is that little jungle cat that decided to attack my feet. She kind of has like a little bit of a foot fetish thing going on, and especially when you're sleeping, trying to relax a little bit. But yeah, that's where we're at. And I always get so angry, and then I want to chastise her, and then I just look at her. I'm like, she didn't mean it. It was an accident. Piper would never do that, even though she does it consistently every single day of my life. But all those other times don't count because she just didn't mean it. Oh, she's relaxed right now. Oh, she's purring. You want a fun-filled day in the market? You want to gamble some? You want to bet all your Meow Mix money? All your catnip bucks? She's really addicted to catnip. Really? Hey, what's up? We need a cat cam for you so you can nap and then everyone can still see what you're trading. Is that cool? You want to go on your bed? All right, let's put her on her bed. Let's put you on your bed there. All right. No more screwing around. We mean business. This is a serious finance show where we talk about serious things. We don't just randomly go off on tangents and rage quit and hang out with our cat. No, we're serious traders. There's no time to mess around when it comes to the world's largest casino. We're here for business. Wall Street is nothing but professional, and that's what we are. You're professional. I'm professional. We totally don't ever break our rules. We totally don't ever screw off. This is serious, serious business. And on that note, hello? Stop. I guess Piper disagrees. I guess she disagrees with the fact that this is a serious show. Well, tale of two stories here. One story is the fact that the SPY and the Qs and the overall market is actually looking even better than it did yesterday, which was a pretty good day. Some of our favorite companies to pay attention to had earnings, such as Disney's Palantir, and they are not doing so bueno. So we have, like I said, the tale of two stories. You guys are complaining about the audio. It's the same audio. Hello. Or maybe you should, volume is low. Maybe your ears are bad because it's literally the same. Like, it's the same audio output. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's just what it is. It is what it is. Just go fix your ears. It's not on me. This one's on you. Sometimes you just have to step up to the plate, take a little bit of responsibility, and realize that you're the problem, not your digital internet friend, me. But I'm pretty sure it's good. I'm pretty sure it's good. I think it's just some of you have some issues. Some of you have some issues. But anyway, SPY looking pretty strong this morning. Q's coming right back up to like the push at the end of the day and where we close. Disney getting hit, Palantir getting hit. We do have some other individual companies to speak about as well. But before we get to that, of course, we have a lot of things to go through. Stock futures are a little changed as Dow tries to extend 4-day win streak. Now, if we look at the futures market, 5-minute green, 10-minute green, 30-minute green, daily up range bar, and that's for the S&P 500. If you look at the NASDAQ, 5-minute green, 10-minute was red, but now it's trying to just barely get back into the green, so that could be interesting. 30-minute green, and then obviously the daily, another up range bar. So across the board, both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, if we were to freeze frame it right now, in my mind, this is bullish. Now, obviously, we're going to get new information. We're going to get new data. And as we get new information and new data, it might be appropriate to update our bias on the day. But as of right now, my bias would definitely be a bullish one. Before we get into a bullish one, I want to talk about how maybe the market isn't efficient. Maybe the market's not going to regulate itself. Maybe sometimes when unchecked, humans have a proclivity to waste money and do irrational things. This is, I guess, one of the, I know that I'm probably the leading fashion commentator in your life, but even for me, this is a little bit outlandish. This is, I guess, a quote unquote outfit for the Met Gala, which I guess the tickets cost $75,000 a pop. I just want to make sure the volume's not going to blow your ears out. This is it. Just go to Target, grab an umbrella, then go to Bed Bath & Beyond and just drape a sheet. And that's the costume. That's where we're at. When I see stuff like this happen, it makes me think a lot about the Hunger Games when we're in such a dystopian future that there's like a small group of people that have everything and then everyone else has absolutely nothing. And then those people who have everything just go out of their way. They spend all of their time and mental energies thinking about how can they piss away their money. And this has that vibe of like, I need to do something to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then it just ends up being so uniquely stupid that I don't even think like the rest of us know what's going on. It's just absolutely insane. One of the most incredible and unique outfits of the Met Gala where tickets went for $75,000. This is particularly a crowd I don't want to hang out with. I don't think there's people at the Met Gala that are fun. They all seem to be people in the world that I find particularly abhorrent. Anyway, just want to share that kind of some hot news. And obviously, I know a lot of the time we spend like discussing fashion trends. Where's fashion going next? So I thought this was a good place to really show you guys what's currently in the world of fashion outside of our little digital kingdom here. Other things going on in the world involve something much more serious, as in literal global conflict. Israel troops take control of Rafah border crossing in Gaza. Israel troops took control of the Rafah border crossing in Gaza on Tuesday morning, and Palestinian officials said all aid flows from Egypt had stopped. The army has halted the movement of people and aid completely. Tanks drove through the area in the far south of the Gaza Strip, and soldiers replaced Palestinian flags with Israeli ones. It's the first time Israel's army has entered the part of Gaza since the war on Hamas began in October. The maneuvers may be in preparation for an offensive on the city of Rafah that the Israeli government has said will happen as it looks to destroy Hamas's remaining battalions. So remember, Egypt's down here to the south. It's going to hug the sea, Israel, and then Jordan's actually up here. But where they're coming in, well, here's the humanitarian aid area coming in through Egypt, and Rafah actually splits it. Rafah's like right between this part of the strip and then the border with Egypt. Here's the crossing. So just to give you a little bit more of a mental framework of like the geographics of the area. But obviously, in terms of like why I'm bringing this up, not only is it important to be, it's obviously good to be informed about what's happening globally, but with the rise in tensions, and then obviously it's becoming a huge thing in the U.S., I don't think it's necessarily going to get any better. Just because we've been covering this for a hot minute, I figured I could give you this update. Some patriot blasted the national anthem at Harvard while the Palestine protesters were trying to sleep in their tents. So please remember that the college campus chaos at first really started at Columbia, spread to a little bit of NYU, quickly got shut down at NYU, popped up in UCLA, and then since then, we're seeing more pop up specifically at MIT and Harvard. So at Harvard, they're doing their own thing, and as they have this Palestinian Hamas support encampment, someone at, I believe it was 3 a.m, decided to actually just blare the national anthem. And it's this type of trolling that I can 100% get behind. I just went out. It's one thing to troll at a high level on the internet, but to troll at a high level in real life, dude, that's savage. Now, is it legal? No, it's probably some sort of noise violation, I would assume. But I guess play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And you might be thinking to yourself, but man, that's not fair. That's mean. Remember, the same people who are apparently not able to sleep at 3 a.m. now because some, as that said, patriot is blaring the national anthem. These are the same people who are not getting to sleep. This is a World War I memorial. So in front of a World War I memorial, you know that war where we kind of stopped the spread of fascism, Nazism, saved millions of lives, like, just like truly protected decency in the world. That one. Not only are they spray painting the memorial, they are burning an American flag on it, and then on top of, obviously the statue's on top, which is out of frame right now, they're putting a Palestinian flag. So I don't really particularly feel that bad, like at all. Not at all. I'm pretty sure this is World War One. When I checked it this morning to fact check my info, I'm pretty sure this is a World War One. World War One, World War Two, but I'm pretty sure this is World War One. So, do I feel bad? No, not at all. In fact, I think it's like I said, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So that's where we're at, and it's kind of interesting because yes, there's going to be direct impact on what the U.S. has to do, which will thus have an impact on our political stance, which then has an impact on our economy, which then it's going to spread to everything else. And need I remind you that within the U.S., it's not like things have been calm, cool, collected anyway. Could Donald Trump really go to jail for gag order violations? So we spoke about this yesterday because it was breaking news during the actual show. But Trump, for whatever reason, has a desire to continually break the gag order. I believe just yesterday, not only was he fined an additional $9,000 for violating it again, but on top of that, it said, hey, if you keep doing it, you actually might go to jail. So then this is a question, like, is that actually possible? Experts say the judge has quote unquote wide latitude with everything from a wing on Rikers Island to a timeout in a holding cell behind the courtroom. So apparently it is legally above board and can happen. Wanted to share that with you. If it did, I think it would be strategically a bad move in terms of the judge because it's going to just embolden the base. It would just, whether legally warranted or not, remember, people don't look at the nuances of a story in that way. What they more so look about is just like the headline, Trump jailed, and they're like, wait, you jailed him for talking? So like, it just, in my opinion, wouldn't play well in the public whatsoever. Trump jury shown check after Trump jury shown check after check he signed to repay Cohen. So we're in the start of week 4 of one of the major 4 legal proceedings that Trump currently has going on. So 1 of 4, and this one's about halfway through. It's anticipated to go an additional 3 to 5 weeks. This is all about paying off the adult film actress Stormy Daniels, and the whole, I guess, legal question right now is, how did you pay it off? Where did the money come from? And was that above board? So it wasn't technically illegal to pay off someone. We sign NDAs all the time to not disclose information. And this information happened to be that he was sleeping with a adult film actress. That's fine. It's more of where did the funds come from and the extent to which he went to try to cover up where those funds were coming from. Trump prosecutors keep a witness schedule secret to avoid ex-president's attacks. A prosecutor suggested that his team is keeping its witness schedule close to the vest to stop Donald Trump from targeting people slated to testify. The admission came at the end of the day when the judge held Trump in criminal contempt of court for the 10th time for violating his gag order. The 10th time. As Trump left the courthouse, he appeared to suggest he would not stop violating the order, which prohibits him from speaking publicly about witnesses, jurors, or other parties involved in the trial. Frankly, our Constitution is far more important than jail. I'll do that choice any day, according to Trump. So this was after the proceedings yesterday. So that whole thing, still very much a debacle. So the political bipartisan nature in the U.S., not so bueno. The global conflict, not so bueno. But at least we could take a breather and be stoked that the market's somewhat green. So that's a good thing, right? Just the final, I guess, U.S. political thing. Yesterday, we covered that Biden was very much falling behind in the polls. There's a wide delta between the two, according to early polls, and it's actually getting wider. And what's unique about the trends that we're seeing is the quote-unquote minority vote, specifically Black, Hispanic. The amount that found Biden to be favorable in the last election is basically 20 points higher than now, as in a lot of major categories, specifically if you were to look at the I guess strata of different minority votes, on average losing about 20 points, which is a little bit brutal. Now, with that being said, I do want to remind everyone that there's a lot of time between now and the election, and also there's kind of a considerably large error rate when doing these polls, but it is just the information we have right now. And the thing that seems, at least quantifiably, to be driving the drop in Biden's polls is the average person's opinion on not only the southern border and that type of thing, but much more of the economy and people not happy with the economy. And it's statements like this that get people particularly mad. If you elect me, your taxes will be raised, not cut.
By the way, how many of you did really well with that $1.9 trillion tax cut that increased? Really good shape, right? Really changed your, well, you did. Well, that's good. I'm glad to see you're doing well already. And I'm good. But guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut. If you benefit.
Do you think his speechwriters and his campaign, just every single time they get a mic in his hand, they're please just don't. That has to be one of the most difficult jobs. When you just, it would have been better actually if he stumbled that time. I know a lot of the times people point out his mental aptitude, is he really there because he stumbles and blah, blah, blah verbally. Sometimes that's actually better than this. When he's literally saying, if you elect me, your taxes are going to get raised, not cut. Going out of his way to say it. The speechwriters they're probably just ripping the paper and just tossing it there. They're like, dude, come on. Just give us a freaking break.
You're doing well already. And I'm good. But guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut, if you benefit from that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Guess what? If you elect me. And obviously, I know we're particularly picking on him, but really, I mean, all these politicians, like they're all old. We're not dealing with people at their mental prime. They all say dumb shit all of the time. And it just so happens that it's more funny when the leader of the free world is saying, guess what? If you elect me, your taxes are going to get raised, not cut. Like going out of his way. Absolutely nuts. All right, let's bring it back to the market a little bit. In terms of the macroeconomic things scheduled for this week, there's not too much going on. The major thing is a bunch of Fed speakers. I will show you the list. We have a couple notes and bonds and basically treasury auctions. That really gets going tomorrow. So between now and then, the thing that most people are paying attention to are earnings. So early this morning, we heard from Disney. I'll go over that. After the market closes today, we're going to hear from Rivian, Wynn, Lyft, Occidental, and Twilio. Later this week, Uber, Shopify, Affirm, Arm, Robinhood, Airbnb. Later on, you have Roblox. So feel free to screenshot this. Also, one of the most useful accounts on Twitter is at eWhisper, so you could get this. But the ones that people are talking about right now are Disney from this morning and then also Palantir from after the market closed yesterday. So let's hop into that right now. Disney reports lower streaming TV loss boosts profit outlook. Is the market happy with that? Absolutely not. Disney closed yesterday at 116.47, currently trading at 107.78, which means it's down 7.4%. The market not so happy with Disney. Disney earnings top analyst estimates as streaming nearly breaks even in the quarter. So it's one of these weird things where I think, especially if you're new to the world of the market, you're like, hang on, I heard beat. It beat on top and bottom line. Wait, why are we going down? What's happening? Seemingly that doesn't make sense. Like an illogical connection of seemingly good bullish news, but then the market reacts, the stock reacts poorly. A lot of the times, especially over the past, couple earning cycles that we've all been chit-chatting together, the market is putting a huge emphasis, a huge premium on future-looking guidance. And then when Disney is lowering their future-looking guidance, you see it plummet. So that's what's going on with Disney. Market not reacting so well, but it isn't the only one. I know we have a lot of Palantir fans in here. Yesterday closed at 25.21, currently trading at 22, as in it's down 12%. Palantir shares fall 7% on lower than expected guidance. So it's unfortunately getting worse. I say unfortunately, if you're a Palantir bull, an additional 5%, but same thing here. You're getting the vibe where the quarter itself was actually fine, but remember that's looking in the rear view mirror. The stock market, very similar to the Wayne Gretzky quote, it's much more of looking to where the puck's going, not where it's been. So when the company gets up and they do their quarterly report and say, hey, well, we know Wall Street thought we were going to do this well in anticipation, but we're actually going to lower the bar a little bit. Generally, the market does not react well to that. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. And to show you the extreme nature of it, I mean, if you look at Tesla in this last go round, they completely missed and then ripped because the guidance was good. And then vice versa. If you look at Meta, they beat, but then the guidance wasn't so good, so it dropped. So, I mean, we can pick a myriad of different examples that show, especially over the past year or two, there's a huge, huge emphasis on guidance and not necessarily top and bottom line. Obviously, there's other things that you're going to have to weigh out, but just to, highlight some of these trends, I definitely wanted to share that with all of you. Not an earnings play. We already heard from Apple, but we did get some good news related to Apple. Apple is reportedly developing chips to run AI software in data centers. Project AC/DC, Apple chips in data centers, which has been in works for several years, has no clear timeline, according to the Wall Street Journal. CEO Tim Cook in February said Apple was, quote unquote, investing significantly in the technology that would make an AI-related announcement later this year. And that was obviously the announcement. Let me show you Apple and then we'll come back to the overall market. But right now, Apple actually catching a pretty nice trend. It was downtrending thus far from January 1st to a week or two ago. Apple and Tesla were not going with the trend of the rest of the tech sector or the rest of the overall market. But then after earnings here, you can see Apple jumped up, and granted it had a red day, but it was still positive. Dipped down a little bit more yesterday, but then on this news up 1% thus far in pre-market, so maybe worthwhile to put on to your watch list. You know who wishes they probably didn't get out so early from AI in this? Obviously, we covered yesterday that Warren Buffett, he's still in Apple, but he's cutting back his equity investment. We have another one here. Stanley Druckenmiller cut his NVIDIA stake in late March, says AI will be the bit overhyped in the short term. Stanley Druckenmiller, You've probably heard me talk about him every so often. I'm a huge fan of Stanley Druckenmiller. He's truly a Wall Street legend. He's a GOAT. He's a phenomenal trader, a phenomenal investor. He's the kind of guy that even though other people crush it in Wall Street, he's the kind of guy that those people who are crushers still look up to him. So, I mean, he's done a lot more in his life than I have in mine, but I don't necessarily agree. Like, I guess I want to know his definition of short term, because right now what I see in Nvidia is I like it. My top bullish watches include Meta, which I have calls on, Nvidia, which maybe I have something in Street Beat or something, but I'm not like actively playing it. I actually really like Tesla, and I also really like Netflix. So the one that I have exposure to right now is Meta, but Nvidia, to me, lower highs, lower lows, and it looks like it's turning around, maybe an inverse shoulder, head, shoulder, breaking this neckline of 900, maybe pushing up to 960, 970. So like I said, I don't know what his definition of short term is. If you ask me for the next couple weeks, I'm liking what's going on with Nvidia. If he's looking a couple months, a couple quarters out, okay, that's a different story. So short term, a little bit vague, but also he's the multi-billionaire trader investor, and I'm a guy who I'm yelling at a camera for a living. I actually don't even know if people are tuning in. There's a very good argument that my mom's just made a bunch of accounts and logs in to make me feel better. I don't know. So we're going to have to take everything I say with a particular grain of salt. Another company update, private equity firm Circle Peloton for potential buyout. So Peloton, PTON, has been getting crushed. Could not really, clear shoulder, head, shoulder. Couldn't really get the play out post the Rona period. And ever since then, it has fallen from 170 all the way down, just getting pummeled. In the short term, there might be volatility on this news. Obviously, it's a lot of rumors, a lot of rumor mill stuff going on. Maybe it leads to some short-term bullishness, but this is not a company I would invest in whatsoever. Just look at the trend. Like, what's the point of buying this when it literally cannot hold a bid pretty much ever? Just couldn't capitalize on the post-Rona period. So those are the major equity updates of the day. As I alluded to before, in terms of the macroeconomic events, there's not too much going on as we're sleeping late tonight. As we were sleeping late last night. Australia made their interest rate decision. No change. It was exactly as expected. If you sign up for the newsletter, mattkohrs.locals.com, you're going to get this for absolutely free every single weekend to your email inbox. I give you more of a breakdown like other macroeconomic events. The major thing is at 11:30, Kashkari speaks. I'm calling that out to you because the last time this guy was given a mic, it was this day right here. He was the first one to say, hey, oh, by the way, we might do no Fed rate cuts if inflation doesn't come down. So his words, my point in showing you this is his words carry a lot of weight. He was the guy that spoke on this day that was seemingly good, and then it just got absolutely murked. So please be prepared. 11:30, Kashkari speaking. He's an influential member. We get consumer credit at 3 p.m. Later on, Collins is speaking. This is for tomorrow. We have the 10-year note auction on tomorrow as well. We have the 30-year bond auction on Thursday. And here's just the list of all the other Fed speakers and events I'm paying attention to. I also give you the earnings from at eWhispers. I then try to highlight the ones I think you're really going to care about. Maybe most importantly, I give you the seasonality of each day. So for today, Tuesday, May 7th, the Bulls have won this day over the past 2.5 decades, 56% of the time. So just better than flipping a coin. And when they do win, they're winning with greater size than when they're losing. And that's why I have the bias as bullish. This on the screen right now is the hypothetical equity curve that you would have if you bought at open, sold at close on the S&P 500 futures market for this individual day for the past 25 years. So it would have gone green, then it would have gone red, then over the past 10 years, you would have been recovering pretty nicely. Later this week, another kind of bullish one that recently went bad. If you look at Thursday, choppy, and then Friday favoring the Bears a little bit more. So just to show you what's going on there. The last section relates to options, but that was in the rear view mirror. So let's cover what happened with the Piper trading strategy yesterday, May 6th. So I was able to make $320, which for my account was just over 1%, which is pretty much my target. So here's how it happened. At 10:07 in the morning, Piper fired off a bullish 5 out of 5 confidence on both the SPY and the Qs. And the recommended play was a put credit spread, selling the 513 and selling the 436. I personally don't trade the SPY and the Qs. I trade SPX and NDX. I just like European contracts better. And the way I traded this one was at about 12:30. I waited and waited and waited because I wanted a better fill. I ended up selling the 5,145 and I sold it at 80 each. So when you're doing put credit spreads, you sell and then you want it to go down. And I actually just let it expire worthless. So I captured 100% of the potential profit. And when you have 4 times 80, that's 320 before fees. And it's around, I don't know, 310 after fees, something like that. So it worked out well. So if you want to learn more about the Piper strategy, advanced options trading, we just literally rolled out a new strategy yesterday, a scalping one. This is cool. This is where it's all at. mattkohrs.locals.com. That is the community center. And that's how you can get connected to, if you want the newsletter, if you want to sign up for the Discord, if you want to get the Piper signals, it's where we do the giveaways. That's the community center. So if you want to get into the Discord, that's how you do it. So it's in the description of the video and you could get in for free if you use the code GOONY. Now, very quickly, I'm going to need you guys to vote on how you're feeling at market open. I should have already done this. Start a poll. Market at open. All right. I need you guys, as soon as you see this, I'm going to ask you to vote as rapidly as you can because we are going to, we're under the gun a little bit. All right. So the poll is up on YouTube. All right. So what are you guys? Bull, 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 green, red, bull. Okay, so we already have this vote. We already have one vote. Rumble already went bullish. Got it. Got it. It's locked in. And then how are we voting over here on YouTube? Okay, you guys also seem to be going bullish. All right, so let me just make sure I have the accounts. 233. Wait. 33. 34, selected, bull. Okay, we're good to go. Well, while we're waiting for the market to open, which we have about a minute and a half, I would like to shout out the sponsor of today's stream, Meta PCs, bringing you the opening bell. This is the computer I use to not only do my advanced trading research, but also streaming. So my point is they have some pretty good systems. Meta PCs, if you need a computer, a laptop, a keyboard, a monitor, any computer or related paraphernalia, Meta PCs has your back. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. If you use the code GOONIE, GOONIE, you will get a discount. And from there, you could also see my setup. There's the good, the better, the best, obviously just leveling up. But to be completely honest, the good is good. Now, obviously, I'm well aware that you're not buying a computer every single day. So all I'm saying is the next time you need a computer or something related to computing, keep Meta PCs in mind. It's a US company. Their customer service is phenomenal. They do have financing options. So check it out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And like I said, the code GOONIE, GOONIE, will get you a discount. And on that note, we have 20 seconds for the world's largest casino to really get rocking. Like I said, we are going to be trading some new systems today. So I'm kind of excited about that. We'll see how they do. But the first 2 things that should fire, if I did everything right, is exclusively your bets. The bets of YouTube, the bets of Rumble. This is day 2 of trading competition 8. And on that note, you have YouTube on the left, Rumble on the right, and the world's largest casino
Order
is
submitted.
Opening now. Uh-oh. Is this like yesterday? Are you guys going to do it again like you did yesterday? Come on, make it easier. No. All right. Day 1 was not easy. For those of you who weren't on the stream yesterday, you guys both picked bullish and the same thing happened to the point that I would have bet any amount of money that you guys were about to blow out. It came with, as soon as it goes down 2.5K, you can kind of see it over here on the right side of the screen. The accounts are blown out and you guys were down like 2.1. It was to the point that it was so bad. I literally clicked away and started doing other stuff. And then randomly I heard order filled. And I thought you had blown out. I thought it was the cancel order, but you actually ended up making your money. This is day 2. Not so good, team. Whatever your methodology is, I think you guys should switch it up. However you guys are deciding your morning bias, maybe come up with a better way, because this is day 2 that it was pretty rough. And honestly, you guys, target
filled.
Right. Whoa. Rum got theirs
Target
first.
filled.
Okay, locked in. So both accounts have made 135, but today was day 2 where it was a little bit suspect, team. Little bit suspect. So anyway, you did lock it in. So congrats. Day 2 of trading competition 8. You're locked in. So okay. But as you can see, we have a lot of other stuff to run today. A lot of fun in the sun, if you will. Let me get this all set up. Let me get this one all set up. All right. Oh, and by the way, just to clarify, so these 20 accounts are each of 50,000. I don't have $1 million, folks. I'm not trading $1 million. It's not like I gave each of you guys 50K. The way I did it was I passed the test, got a funded account from Apex, and basically I'm trading with their money. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, the process is as simple as this. You sign up, you use the code Goonie, you get 80% off. You take the test. When you pass the test, that's how you get a PA account. And when you're trading with a PA account, you're now the first $25,000 of profit is yours. And then after that, it's a 90-10 split with the company. So if you are looking for funding, if you're a person, you're like, you know what? I want to like maybe honing on my trading skills, maybe using someone else's money just for the risk, that type of a thing. That's what Apex is for. And that's exactly how I'm pulling this all off. So basically, I passed the test 20 different times. I got it upgraded to a PA account. And now I am in a profit split agreement with them. So if the first $25,000 of profit is mine for each account, not cumulatively for each account. And then after that, it's a 90-10 split with the company. So if that's something that you might be interested in, check it out. That is now pinned to the top of chat, and it's Apex. Just make sure to use the code Goonie because of instead of spending, what is it? I'm using the 50K account. Instead of spending $167, if you use Goonie, it'll only be like $33, $35, something like that. Obviously, considerably cheaper. Considerably cheaper when you get 80% off. Okay, Disney, Palantir is in the bottom here. Actually, people are buying up Palantir. The other swing play that I want to talk about is Meta. So if you're thinking, Matt, why should I be joining your Discord? Well, it's as simple as this. Because in my Discord, not only do we do like zero DTs, but I also call out my swing plays. And as my entire Discord knows, I have been calling out Meta for about a week now. And just to show you guys, like I put my money where my mouth is right here. I am currently up 94%. I got into this play on Friday. Meta, I alerted it to everyone. Some people got it, some people didn't. But just for those of you, I just want to make it specifically clear, we don't exclusively do zero DT trading. Sometimes we do zero DT trading. Sometimes we swing options. Sometimes we swing stocks. Sometimes we're trading futures. Sometimes we're doing systematic trading. It's more of just a community of people who care about trading and are trying to bounce ideas off of each other. So just to show you that in real time, I mean, here, I could reload it. This isn't like a screenshot or anything. This is like my actual account, currently up a cool 3.2K on a 3.7K investment. So Meta, I plan on riding it. I am a little bit mad because as Meta is looking phenomenal, and I would love to play it all the way up to 184. I don't know if I'll get that. I'd be honestly happy at 475. I felt very similarly about NVIDIA. Actually, if we have a red day on NVIDIA, I might get an opportunity to get in. I feel similarly about Tesla, which I don't have yet. Once again, might get the opportunity. But the one I clearly missed out on was Netflix. Folks, can you not see the exact same setup between Netflix and Meta? So I ended up taking it on Meta. I did not get the fill on Netflix, and now it's just a little bit too late for me. But if you guys did get it, this is just another one that I had been calling out. Like I said, there was 4 major tech plays I was watching, feeling bullish on: Meta, Netflix, Tesla, NVIDIA. I got the Meta one. I'm jealous about the Netflix one, and NVIDIA and Tesla I'll be watching because it looks like I might get lucky and they might give me another opportunity. But unfortunately, the Netflix one has sailed. Oh, brother. All right. Anyway, what are we doing right now? What is happening in the options market? Speaking of options and whatnot, I do want to give you guys a very, very friendly reminder that we're having a specialty guest lecture come on Friday to tell us about advanced optioning techniques, strategies, platform performance, basically how to be a better options trader. That's all 100% free. It's happening here. Wherever you're watching me right now, this Friday, we're bringing on a specialty guest who is a literal expert options trader. And we're going to be discussing various strategies that you'll be able to directly employ in your own trading. That's this Friday. This Friday. Free lecture for everyone. It's going to be on Rumble. It's going to be on YouTube. We're discussing just a handful of viable options trading strategies. What time is it? 9:36, and nothing else is fired? Really? Nothing? I guess all the bots are sleeping today. If I really had to guess, I would bet that they're getting a little bit confused by it was bullish and then all of a sudden it's just giving it back. Bought 2 calls at 475, expired in June on Meta at market open blindly because Matt said he has a position. Now I'm up 35%. I don't know if I would ever support blindly doing something, but I'm happy you're up money. You might want to set in like a stop loss to break even so it doesn't cost you anything. Especially when you're just making like money, quote unquote, lucky. All right. What do I want to do? Ooh, I never opened my own brokerage. Oh yeah, I did. I just had it. Where was public? Where was it? All right. Hold on 1 second. Oh, also, this is just a small thing, but an important thing. I think the maintenance people are allegedly coming by this morning. So if there's like a weird instance where I'm like, oh, whoa, and I like get scared because like a random person just walked into my apartment, please understand that it's not like an intruder or anything like that. I think they're just checking, I don't know, the air filters or some crap like that. So if you just see random maintenance people walking in, understand that I think it's by design. I think that is the particular plan of the day. And I don't know if it's necessarily going to happen during the show. I don't know if it is or if it isn't. So I just wanted to share those thoughts with all of you. Piper's passed out as she should be. Options are dipping a little bit. They've been dipping since 9:33. Now they're maybe dipping a little bit more. Oh, brother. Where are we at? Where are we at? 90.95. Okay. Let me type this in. Working on the scalp that we're working on a new options scalping system in the Discord. So I'm trying to see if I could get that to work today. Seeing if I could try to get that to work. Matt, when you have time to talk, can you talk about the Apple buyback? What about it? People just generally, when a company is buying back their own stock, that's pretty bullish because the market interprets it as, well, if the company is willing to buy back its own stock and they have all of their own information, they must really think that they're undervalued to be willing to do that. And that's not like, I'm not saying specifically for Apple. I'm saying that is generically a good way to think about it. What will the effect be? I mean, it's the same effect as anyone buying, but this one has particular like psychological posturing of, oh, the company's buying back its own, but it's the same impact as anyone buying. Apple buying its own stock, like from a pure market standpoint, is the same as you buying Apple stock or a hedge fund buying Apple stock, or basically, like I said, anyone buying Apple stock. Buying is buying. But when it's announced like that, it's the same way where theoretically, it shouldn't be any different when you do like a stock split or reverse stock split, but yet there's psychological implications. It's kind of in that same vein of thought of, oh, when the company, which is the thing that knows all the information about itself, decides to buy its own thing, it's signaling to the world that it thinks it's undervalued. So it's, I guess it depends. Like on the initial level, buying is buying. On the secondary level, it's signaling to the market that it's undervalued. reduces dilution. No, I mean, it doesn't change the amount of outstanding shares. It changes the free float for sure. Definitely has an impact on the free float. They basically bought back what Buffett sold. Yeah, when you're buying in large chunks like that, sometimes you do come to agreements and deals with other people with large block orders. Not all trading has to be done on the open market. You can come to agreements with other big players, especially if you don't want to prompt like crazy volatility. It's really hard from a liquidity standpoint for someone to come in and be like, I want to buy 5 million shares of Apple right now. A lot of those ones, you come to an agreement with someone who is like trying to offload a large block. It doesn't always have to go that way, but we definitely do see it that way sometimes. Yeah, they have a lot of cash. A lot of smart companies are loading up on cash right now. What was it that Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway are targeting 200 billion by the end of the quarter, and they're currently at 189 billion? It gets wild. What do you think the correlation between 40% of all money in circulation being printed in the last 20 years and the increase in SPY? What do I think about it? I think it makes sense because it's inflation. So really, the market has to go up at the same whatever rate of inflation, or it's actually going down. So like sometimes it's almost fictitious when we see the market pumping. The market pumping can just be related to the fact that everything's being devalued, like 100%. I mean, if you're in an inflationary environment and the stock is trading at the same nominal value, $100. Okay, say you have $100 and you buy a stock XYZ that's trading at $100. If it's trading at $100, that doesn't mean that the stock is like really stayed the same, because you still have the buying power of what's it worth, $100. But now $100 can buy you less in the world because of inflation. So as we print this money, that prompts inflation. So of course it makes sense for the stock market to go up because they're going to be inflating as well. A better question is the growth outpacing inflation? Because if it's outpacing inflation, that means you actually have true growth. But if it's growing at the same rate of inflation, it means you're actually flat. And if you're growing but less than the rate of inflation, it actually means on a, I guess, buying power standpoint, you're actually losing. All right, what are we doing with So the SPY popped, came down. Qs popped, came down. Maybe I should delay you guys to 9:31 because it feels like you're better at predicting the second minute than the first minute. We could do that. I could set it up in a way where you have to vote within the first minute. Should we switch the trading competition to that, where you have from 9:30 to 9:31 to vote, and then the trade goes on at 9:31? Like we do. Well, I guess you could technically vote up to 9:31. It would be silly to vote before 9:30 because maybe you want that information. What is the talk about Rivian and Apple? I have no idea, but Apple is doing everything it can to get out of the world of EV. So I don't really think that Apple cares about it. I mean, they had their own EV unit that they spent billions of dollars on, and they literally just abandoned it. But Rivian does have earnings. So I guess in the short term, the news on Rivian is earnings after the market closes today. Very quickly, options market still looking a little bit heavy. 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish, 30-minute bullish on the ES, 5-minute on the NASDAQ, bullish, daily is even bullish. So right now, the price action across 4 different time frames on both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ is bullish. The options market was flat, bearish, and now flat again. Flat, bearish, and then flat again. And we really actually have not had much range today, like at all. I mean, the big range of the day was literally the second minute. That's all it was. The second minute's like, all right, yeah, I should maybe do something. So from 9, pretty much 80 to 90% of today's like cash session range was from 1 minute bar. And it was from 9:31 to 9:32. Other than that, we are not making any decisions. Palantir's continuing to lose, continuing to get a bit smoked. We have the NASDAQ picking up a little bit. What's going on with the NASDAQ? Okay, so NASDAQ options are getting a little bit more aggressive, but there is a put wall at 18,120, which is pretty much where it's at. So I'm curious how it's going to react to it. I necessarily wouldn't be bullish or bearish at this line. It's more of a line that I would say, hey, I want to pay attention to see what's going on. All right. Well, while we're waiting for, I guess, anything to really happen today, none of the robots have traded. The only thing that's actually traded is you guys, the Rumble chat and the YouTube chat. Other than that, the robots need some form of momentum. They're all based off of like a X amount of price movement, X amount of time passing. Like just something needs to develop is my point. And right now we haven't had much time and we haven't had much price movement. Maybe breaking a little bit to the upside here. Maybe we're going to do like a double chop dip type of a thing. What are we doing? NASDAQ's starting to look a little bit volatile. If we bring it over to the SPY. Okay, the SPY's catching some form of a bid right here. Like you can see the obvious swing around in the world of options. And it's literally, the price is looking exactly like the options movement. Kind of nothing. Dip, a little bit of a spike. Dip, flat, picking up. That's exactly what we saw right here. So let's see if we get some momentum. Let's see if we can get some follow through. Let's see if we can get some follow through. For myself, waiting. I mean, not only have I not really traded, but the robots haven't traded. The only thing I did today personally at this point was put on that one scalp trade, which has not hit yet, but I'm hoping that it does. Hoping that it does. So patience. Well, while we're waiting for any of this to actually legitimately develop today, do you guys have any questions on Apex? I tend to get a lot of questions whenever we talk about it, of how it works, what it is, what it isn't. So if I know the answer, I'm more than happy to share the knowledge I have. And if I don't know it, I could probably get you in contact with someone who does know the answer. So anything about Apex funding, how it works, how it doesn't work, what's happening. How does Apple options look? We can come back to that. Any question? Ooh, no, that's going to hit again. Boom. SPY just getting nailed right there. So did you already talk about Disney? Yep. Short Microsoft. My swing algorithm actually just got a long signal on Microsoft at market close yesterday. It updates at the end of the day, and on yesterday's close, it actually got a long signal for Microsoft. So I don't think I'd be shorting it. I don't think I'd personally be shorting it. Well, it depends on your time frame. That one's a swing strategy, so it's kind of up to you. But the swing strategy said, hey, brother, we like it. Dude, market is dumping right now. Did the scalp hit? No, it still didn't hit. Fascinating. All right, so the SPY just made a new intraday low. Just so you know, there are even more downside gap fills to pay attention to today. Downside gap fill. We have 3 now on the SPY. You have a downside gap fill to yesterday's high, the high before that, and the high before that. So on the SPY, 516.61, 512.55, and 505.89, literally the high value from the past 3 full trading days. So if you are looking for a downside scalp play, 516.61 statistically is a smart play. Is that a guarantee? No, but the odds would be in your favor. If you look at the Qs, did it already hit it? If not, it's really close. Okay, I think it literally just tagged it. So same thing. Now it only has 2 though. 536.48 and 427.81. So both the SPY and the Qs, various downside gap fills. If you played it on the Qs, you would already be taking your profits. You would already be done trading on the day. If you were on the SPY, you're going to have to be a little bit more patient because, like I said, the first target would be 516.61. And now we see the cloud is still bullish, but we have some room to dip into it.
Order submitted.
Oh, are we live? Are we live? 592, 192. Oh, sick. That's what I love to see. I absolutely love it. Like I'm such a fan of when my robots get in at the low of the day. It makes me so excited. It makes me so just stoked for the future of the trading day. It makes me really mentally calm. It doesn't frustrate me at all. I cannot put into words how excited I get when it literally decides to go short at the bottom value of the day. I love it. I like it. It just makes me so eternally grateful for the challenge that I now have to surmount. Now, I know a lot of you think to yourself, oh, wait, I thought you liked the ones where you get into the position right away. It's like order filled, and you just like make your money. And the answer is no, I don't, because that's too easy. I like a challenge. I like my trading to be emotionally straining, physically straining, financially straining. I know a lot of people, what they want to do is they want to find trading systems and methodologies and algorithms that it easily makes them money with like no white knuckling, with no sweating. And it's just like kind of playing the world of trading on easy. Not for me, man. Not for me whatsoever. I highly prefer the situation where I'm just getting absolutely demolished. And I like the concept of having to claw my way back because I think it just adds a little bit of grit. It adds a little bit of perseverance. I think it's good for my body to have such high blood pressure. I know a lot of doctors try to tell you that high blood pressure is bad, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Like when you watch most sporting events, the high score is the winner. The high score in soccer, the high score in football, the high score in basketball, the high score in baseball. So you're telling me in 4 of the major sports, the high score is good, but then if I have a high score of my blood pressure, it's not good and it's unhealthy. I don't buy it. I'm not really picking up what they're pointing down, and I just don't believe them. I think they're full of it, and I think doctors are all in on that together. I think they're paid off by like the low blood pressure conglomerate making us act like that's some sort of goal. Golf is like that. Well, do we really want to consider golf a sport? I said sports. Is golf a sport? It's like a hobby, and if you're good at it, you can make money playing that hobby, but I don't know if we should get so crazy to call golf a sport. It's I specifically said sports. Specifically said sports. Not things that grown men do to get out of their house and avoid their wife, you know? Hot dogs or sandwiches. Not necessarily sports discussion, but I also don't disagree with you. Is beer pong a sport? Of course it is. Of course it is. Duh. What was on ESPN 8? I was at a buddy's house on Sunday, and on ESPN 8, we were watching the 2023 Slippery Stair Challenge. And basically, it's a race up these plastic stairs that they just put oil all over, like super, super slippery oil. And it was pretty funny, I have to admit. And you're allowed to like trip the person and everything. So you have to run up and you're like all in these helmets and stuff, and you're allowed to pull and push. And when you slip, you take everyone else out. Dude, ESPN 8 knows what's up, man. It definitely knows what's up. What else was on there? They had another, I think right before that they had darts. They had some large dart competition, which once again, not really a sport. I don't want to get so crazy to say that it is a sport, because I'm not really sure it is, but fascinating to watch. Matt, you can program your algo with the MACD to trigger a buy signal. Of course you can. You could literally program it to do whatever you want. But, I mean, there's a very, very good chance that if it's like a well-known thing like MACD, that thing has been data mined a gazillion times, and any like rudimentary approach to it probably wouldn't be optimal. I'm not saying it's not profitable, but of course you could use, if it's a well-known indicator, you could probably like out of the box do a gazillion different things with it because so many people have already done it. Matt, I've always wondered if the SPY and the Qs are collective movement of their companies. Does buying and selling SPY affect the price? Does buying and selling the SPY affect the price of the SPY? Yes. Of course it would. It has to. That's what any market in the world is. The fact that you can go out and buy and sell SPY means you're having an impact on buying and selling SPY. But when the market's perception of that value of like what it should be fairly trading at is the composition of all the things that make up the SPY. But yes, 100%. Matt, are you thick Kohrs on Discord? That's my display name, but my username is MMK147. Be careful. There's a lot of scammers. There's a lot of scammers. So on Discord, anyone can change their display name on Discord, but you cannot change your username. So basically, my point is that we can all have no, I said MMK147. It's all in locals. It's all in the description. Like I have a screenshot of my account and everything. But if you're asking because you think I'm DMing you, I'm not DMing you. I'm not talking to anyone about copy trading. I'm not talking to anyone about crypto opportunities. I'm not doing that whatsoever. Just Burn, why do you keep asking when I'm telling you that's not my account? It's pretty easy. MMK147. There's no dots. There's no dashes. There's no other extra letters. There's no extra numbers. If it's not MMK147, it is not me. But what do we have going on here? What do we have going on here? I just got back to break even. I put up this screen because I thought I was going to be cocky and be able to get all my money. So the SPY and the Qs just basically double bottomed, and I need a little bit more oomph for this to go in my favor. And judging on the options market, it looks like I'm about to get it because options are continuing to dip. They're continuing to dip. Come on. Come on. Keep dipping for me. Keep dipping. There we go. Come on. That should be enough to knock it down. Let's go. Let's wait for these market makers. I mean, by that huge, look at this massive swing. The market makers should be shorting right now. What are they doing? And they're buying puts. People are getting 0 DTE puts on the NASDAQ. And if you look at the SPY, they're actually buying longer dated puts. Kind of interesting. Calls are flat, but buying longer dated puts on the SPY and buying 0 DT puts on the Qs as of now. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Are we going? Or no? Yes, no, maybe so? Yes, no? But then again, maybe so. Seriously, we're going to double bomb? Just give me my fill. I'm not even being that greedy about it. I needed it to go a couple more points. I'm not even being that greedy about it, brother. Still dipping. Yeah, look at that dip. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I wanted to show you this before the market opened. I wanted to remind all of you that exit liquidity doesn't have to be a random stranger on the market. It could be your own friend.
All right, dude, I know you're new to all this, but I'm telling you, this thing has the capability to flip Bitcoin, man.
Dude, you can't be serious.
I'm serious, bro. Dude, have I ever steered you wrong?
Dude, yes. Last week, I lost everything.
Dude, live now. Do you want to get rich?
All right, I give. What's the address?
I sent it to you last night, bro.
Dude, this one?
Oh, yeah. That's it. Yeah, pee-pee, poo-poo, Lady McQueen shit.
Man, what should I put in then?
I'd probably go all in on this one.
All in, are you sure?
Dude, probably everything you got.
Target filled.
Sell.
Oh, you're buying some too?
Yeah, duh.
Sweet. Oh my God, dude, I'm down 70% already. Dude, it just keeps going down.
Dude, the Chinese hedge funds, dude, they're probably gonna buy in soon.
What does that even mean, dude?
Don't worry, dude, it's going up soon.
It just keeps going down.
Just keep dollar cost averaging, bro.
What does that even mean? Did I just get rugged? Dude!
Remember, your friends can be your exit liquidity. That's what friends are honestly for. Looks like some money was made. I think part of my money was made. I think. Nope. Well, some was locked in. It looks like some of the initial trades, because I go on with multi-contracts, some of the contracts were locked in, but other contracts weren't. So that's a bit of a bummer. 231. Yeah, dude, seriously, that close? Am I the only guy that can honestly get this close and not get a fill? Can you guys appreciate the fact that it came not even a point, a tick? A tick. That's not even a cent on the cues. We're talking that my order was within 1 cent. Within 1 cent. And it just didn't fill me. Just did not fill me. A portion of a cent. A portion of a cent is what I needed the cues to do. Well, I guess that's just my life today. It's gonna be one of those days where, like I said, I prefer it. I prefer the high stress, white knuckling, just illogical, getting destroyed. I like it this way. I think it just inherently makes you a better trader. I think it makes you a better trader. Dude, it's so frustrating. All right. The only savings grace I have is at least the SPY still has its downside gap fill. The SPY still has its downside gap fill, which I'm hoping acts like a magnet, because if we do hit that, that would mean that most likely all of my NASDAQ plays get filled. So I'm praying. Oh, but I have the extra complication of it can't bounce much. It's one thing if I was like, yo, I'm going to hold it all day and like really look for that gap fill. But if it bounces much, I also get screwed. So not only do I need it to drop, I need it to drop soon without much of a bounce in the market. So that's my life today. Oh, sick. The market is bouncing. That's what I wanted. Bonds are going up. And the dollar's going down. Oh, perfect. No, that's what I want. I love that. No, I'm so happy. I love being short right when the dollar's dropping and bonds are picking up and we're at support. No, I love it. It's my favorite trading style. It really is. Like I'm a huge fan of being short at support when the dollar's dropping and bonds are picking up. That's just that's what I wanted. That's how I programmed it. No one's really asked me this though in a minute, but the name of this trading strategy is actually haha, now you're poor. And I have to admit it's been crushing. It's been crushing its purpose, I should say. It hasn't been crushing it as in like making me money, but it's been crushing it in terms of like, oh, like that's what I made it to do. So like in a weird, I should actually be happy if you really think about it. For the members of my audience who are particularly big brain, you should actually be like, oh, well, technically it's doing exactly what he wanted it to do. So like, I think that's almost like applaud worthy, if you ask me. You use that strategy too? Beef and bean? It's a pretty popular one. I know a lot of people like to do it manually. They like to execute the haha, now you're poor manually. I prefer to automate it because it allows me to do it faster, more efficiently at bigger scale. So I kind of thought when I was trading before automation, I thought to myself, man, there has to be a better way to lose money. It was too slow for me. And I know a lot of people have that same issue. You're sitting there and you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm losing money, but is there a way I could do it better? Is there a way I could do it bigger? Is there a way I could do it faster? And I was in that situation as well. And then that's exactly what I like set out to do. I was like, okay, cool. I got the losing down. Now I just need to do it bigger, better, and faster. And that's exactly what the now you're poor strategy is really all built around. It's what I'm proud of it. I have to be honest with you guys. I'm proud that in real time, I could show it off to you with just such adeptness, with such efficient execution in losing money. It gives me the dopamine hits that I really, really wanted today. Truly. It doesn't make me want to, and now options are going up too? That's sick. No, that's so cool. No, sick. Oh, okay. So I'm short at the bottom of the day, which also happens to be support. Bonds are going up, the dollar's going down, and now options are picking up. Dude. I love it. I love it. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Sick. This is so sick. This is what I want. I feel good about this. It's going to be a shitty Tuesday. No, I'm super happy. Just keep it together. You're a professional. I'm going to fucking scream. Fuck, dude. Fuck. Come on. Just let me out of it. Let's just talk about this. What are the 5 stages of trauma? Does anyone know those off the top of their head? What are the classic 5? When do I get to the acceptance is my question. Okay. For real, I don't want to do this, but the market's making me. I didn't want to be this guy, but I'm going to have to be today because I just can't have a bad day. I had a good day yesterday. I didn't want to have a bad day today. I got to do it. I'm sorry. If you have calls, if you're bullish, I promise you, I'm not going to leave it on for long. I'm not going to leave it on for long. I just need to do this enough until I get out of my position. I know you, a lot of you fucking babies in here consider this to be cheating. A lot of you think it to be an unfair amount of market manipulation. And I get it. It is fair. It is unfair because it's literally perfect. And it never misses. But you have to understand that I have a position that I don't want to blow out those accounts because then I have to take the challenge again and then I have to pay for the upgrade. And like, it just, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry. I didn't want to be that guy. I try to save my emoji-based trading and charting for the second half of the week, especially if I'm having a bad week, just to make the recovery. And I know it's Tuesday and you're going to be like, oh, but that's like early. Like, I don't know if that's necessary, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. It's going to be how it's going to be today. You got to get a little lost to get a little found. You got to get a little lost to get a little found. So I hope you guys can forgive me. I don't expect you guys to forgive me in the immediate future. I understand that there's probably going to be harsh feelings. I get that. But I think with enough time and maybe a little bit more maturity, you'd be able to realize that my decision, at least for me right now, is a necessary one. So I hope that's cool with everyone. And like I said, I don't expect your forgiveness, but I do hope you can understand where I'm coming from. I guess I'm asking for a bit of understanding, not necessarily forgiveness. You have no chance. I got 4 magnets in the other direction. Matt, I sent you 1 BTC and hard copies of my birth certificate and social security for 1 year of Discord per hour chat and private messenger. Thanks for the special opportunity. Yeah. Thank you. I very much needed those hard copies of the birth certificate. Oh. Really? Like, it just had enough momentum to the downside to get me in. Like, just enough, man. Just a freaking enough. And then I'm just getting bulldozed the other way. Bit of a bummer. Bit of a bummer. And now all I can do is wait and pray that dude, oh, sick. They're buying more? Oh, nice. That's what I like. No. It's good that puts are being closed and people are buying calls. That's yeah. No, super sick. Ooh, this is dipping a little bit. I might be getting lucky here. All right. Well, I feel like I should keep holding. Steady the ship. You know, in these choppy waters that we call trading, sometimes you just have to go through the storm. And other times the storm bankrupts you. All right. Not cool. Oh, shit. Probably. Well, I think I get it. It's only 10, 12 in the morning. But I think it's safe to say we need to go back to the drawing board a little bit on these ones. I think it's safe to say your boy has to go back to the drawing board, but hey, keeps us young. Well, another thing that went semi-viral, I don't know if you guys saw it, was someone was speaking at the Ohio State commencement, and he was basically pitching Bitcoin, and he actually got booed, which I thought was interesting.
Great investors are open-minded and understand things before other people. So I know this might feel polarizing, but I encourage you to keep an open mind right now. I see Bitcoin as a very misunderstood asset class. It's decentralized and finite, which means no government can print more at will. In the early days, the exchanges for Bitcoin were prone to hacks and fraud, but the issue has been resolved with the recent launch of the Bitcoin ETFs backed by two of the world's largest asset managers, BlackRock and Fidelity. So anyone could hold these ETFs in your retirement account. Great investors are open-minded.
Why did he get booed? I think because he literally just said Bitcoin. It was weird because like the booing didn't really continue. The whole vibe of it was strange. I've watched it a couple times and I don't even know necessarily why he was talking about it in the commencement thing. I don't know. But after watching it now multiple times, I think I have more questions than I do answers, but it is what it is. And what is the fact that I'm getting murked right now. Options are picking up. This is going against me. Going against me. The governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, says young black kids in the Bronx don't know what the word computer is. What?
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges. Young black
What? Who don't even know what the word computer is? I don't. What? You know, I don't really know how many young black kids I know from the Bronx, but I would be willing to bet a considerable amount of money that they know what a computer is. In fact, I honestly think even the Amish people, I think we could go to Lancaster and ask them and they still know what a computer is. They don't know what the word is. They're like, what is that word? What does that mean? Is that a different language? That, obviously it was just a weird speaking flub, but like, how do you mess that one up? Ooh, I'm getting destroyed right now. Damn, just enough. Just enough to murk me. Do I try to save it? The ones that are particularly bad are the ones that didn't even get the buffer. The ones that locked in the buffer trade. Okay, that's good. That's survivable. But these ones that were just so freaking close and the buffer just did not get locked in. We got to hold it out. We got to tough it out. It's the only option. When in doubt, tough it out. I actually have no idea if that is a statistically good saying in the market, so maybe don't take that as gospel. But yeah, the 5-minute bounced perfectly off of its cloud. The 10-minute almost got there. The 5-minute perfectly off the cloud. The 10-minute perfectly off the bottom of the cloud. Dude, this was, if I had no position, I would be like, dude, evident long. Very evident long. It's screaming in your face. Bullish comes down, consolidates, starts to break to the upside, matches with options picking up. Every aspect of it, I'd be like, that's bullish. That is so, like, from a discretionary standpoint on an intraday bias, I'd be like, dude, it doesn't get more obvious than that. New York DA indicts Trump for bringing firefighters pizza but no salad or cheesy bread. I don't really get the salad part, but cheesy bread, I think that's worth it. That's definitely worth it. That's worth an indictment for sure. Come on. I'm just trying to, at this point, I'm getting lucky and I'm attempting to get lucky and hoping that the options market dumps. But it is looking all forms of bullish. I guess the SPY, there's still that option for that downside gap fill, but it's about to break this trend line that it made from whatever the opening. Well, it's at the trend line, I should say. Yeah. Your boy's just trying to get lucky today, team. Just trying to get lucky. It was going just enough momentum, just enough bearish momentum for it to say, and then not enough to lock in that buffer. Well, that's trading. When it feels like the market's particularly against you, it's because it is. 100%, without a doubt, it is against you. All right. Watching the options. You know what? Let's just put these up on two different screens so I could just quickly toggle between the NASDAQ. Ooh, the NASDAQ's even stronger than the SPY. Lot of 0DT stuff there. We'll see. We'll see. What time is it? It is 10:20. We don't have quite enough momentum for me to do my larger options trade, so I'm just going to wait, be patient. We still have the magnet. Maybe I need to make it bigger. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it was the size of the magnet. I know some people say size doesn't matter, but those are people who just don't have a big magnet saying that. So remember that. Write that down. You're screwed. Maybe. There is about a 50-50 shot that I'm screwed. Probably worse for me than 50-50. Probably like a 60-40 shot. And the reason I'm saying it's not 50-50 is because, well, not only is the SPY attempting to break out right now, but the EMA, like, look at all these EMAs, green, 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 green. The perfect higher low tap breakout. It's, like I said, probably less, it's probably a 60% chance that I'm screwed. Please remove the magnet. I can't see. It's the only thing giving me my 40%. Without the magnet, I would have a 0% shot. Matt, we're going to trend up all day. Well, you might think that, but I feel like you're just literally saying it off your gut. Why not just invert your computer screen? That's actually a solid suggestion. That is a solid suggestion. That might be something that we have to try. Come on, get smacked. Get smacked. Get smacked. Are we going? Are we going down? Are we going down? Almost back to break even. Almost back. Let's keep going. Let's go to break it. Let's do this. No, come on. Just keep going. Keep going. Don't be a double bottom. Well, even if it's a double bottom, that's fine. Just let me out of my position. Just let me out of my position. All right, what's going on with options? Ooh, options on the NASDAQ are dipping hard. Why is the price dipping? Look at options. Started to unload first. See how there was about a 2-minute lead time. This is why I like Spot Gamma so much, because options started to dip and then 2 minutes later, price dipped as in a leading indicator. Now it's bouncing a little bit, but the SPY holding steadily. SPY, well, a little bit of a dip, obviously a worse dip over here on the NASDAQ. Right, bouncing off of yesterday's high and close value. So obviously this 440.30 level, pretty freaking important. Should I just take my profits on Meta? Probably should have done that this morning. Or I could swing it for another couple days. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's just giving me enough to put that twinkle in my eye to think, oh, maybe I'll get out of this without disaster. But nope, also might just be a higher low. What are we seeing in options? Options are not buying it back. I think there's still another leg down. I wouldn't be getting this reversion yet because I'm not seeing options bounce yet. I see price. Yes, I see this 1 minute with you. But would I be a buyer at this point? No. Even if I didn't have a position, I wouldn't be a buyer right now because options are still aggressively selling off. People are buying puts and their calls are flat. Calls are flat, so no one's being aggressively bullish, i.e. buying calls, but they are being aggressively bearish by buying puts. You see the bottom two blue lines? That's people buy. Oh, and now they're starting to get out of their calls. So would I be betting on this reversion at the moment? No. Like I said, I mean, literally calling this out that I still think we flush lower because I'm seeing no help come in the world of the options. The SPY is a bit more flat right now. Options maybe starting to turn down right here, the puts, so maybe buying some puts, but calls are flat on top. The orange and the green line are calls, the two blue lines are puts, and then the white line is the price line, just so everyone knows. But see how this is dipping so hard? This is 100% why I would not be going long yet. And in fact, if this trend continues, it would make me confident in getting my, I was green for a second. I probably should have taken that. Can you be aggressively neutral? Oh, 100%. 100%. That's one of my favorite things to do. A middle of the road extremist. One of my favorite freaking things to do. Come on. Come on. Just give me my money. Just give me my money. Just give me my money. Give it to me. Oh, but why me? But why me? Is it still going? How confident should I be? It is still dipping. I feel like I just need to have a bit of patience and it's going to get filled. Because the SPY still has its downside gap fill to 516.61. So the SPY still has its downside gap fill. And so we have two things going on. From a price structure standpoint, the SPY has a downside gap fill that's somewhat close, like $1 below, and then there's actually two more in excess of that. So there's three very close downside gap fills on the SPY. Does that mean it has to get filled today? No, there's no rule that anything has to happen, but I think it's something that people in the market will be paying attention to. So that's one note for the SPY. The note for the Qs is look at this dump in options. So the teal line is the 0DT, the purple line is the net delta notional for the all expirations put together, including the 0DT. And all I'm seeing is it tried to get going. The Delta notional went higher on the 0DT. The price did not, and then it just got dumped. Little bit of a bounce right now, but the question is how long will it hold? And this could just be a reversionary bounce. We'll see. We'll see. The 5-minute is continually getting drawn to this EMA, the 48 EMA on the 10 and the 48 EMA on the 5 and the 10, excuse me. The SPY holding up a bit stronger. On a relative basis, the Qs are weaker. The Q is break even on the day, while the SPY is up 0.17%. 30-minute and the daily still bullish. 30-minute and the daily still bullish. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Tesla catching a bid. How are bonds doing right now? Bonds are starting to turn, which favors me. And the dollar was going up, but also starting to turn. That's a bit interesting. A bit interesting. A bit interesting. What do we see here? What do we see here? All right. Let's get crazy. We're here to gamble, folks. We're here to gamble. Come on, load, 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 load. Buy puts 517. Let's get 50. No, it hasn't filled yet. I didn't switch it to a market order. Did I get a fill now? I just got an alert on my phone. There we go. All right. So I'm in just below 70. I'm in at 71. I have 50 of these puts. SPY 517s. What am I in at? I'm in at 71. So let's see if we could 50 at 85. All right, throwing the order to see if I could get out at 85. And my goal is, if there is a flush, which I think is going to be led down by the NASDAQ, the goal is to catch that. But then if it breaks to the upside, 517.80, I could cut it. So I have defined risk. I have a defined target. We're letting it rock. We're letting it rock. And then hopefully, I was going to say, hopefully this will all turn green. And I guess to further explain my logic here is, I saw this tested and buyers stepped in. We're getting tested again. And when you're getting tested, you either break or you don't. You either break or you bounce. Those are your two options. And I'm just thinking on multiple tests that, okay, maybe there's not as many buyers because we put in a lower high. So there was more aggressive selling the second time around than the first time around. But really what's driving my decisions is watching the options market. I'm seeing options dip. As in when I say I see options dip, I'm referring to the notional delta. So that means there's more aggressive bearishness. People are either selling calls, buying puts, or both, the combo of the two. And so we're seeing that on both the SPY right here, and we're also seeing that on the NASDAQ here. The NASDAQ has been specifically dropping. So, I mean, obviously all of this is somewhat looking in the past because it's the data that just came in, and at a certain point you could bottom out and you could rip back. At a certain point you could top out and you could drop. So you're hoping that, okay, you're catching an early part of the trend because you never know how long the trend's going to continue. But I'm hoping it continues enough for me to make my freaking money, brother. Come on. Come on. You know you want to give me my fill. Maybe it's one of those things like out of sight, out of mind. Maybe I just need to care about it less. I feel like it works when you're dating, when you're in the courting period of your life. You have to just care less. You just have to be whatever. Maybe, whatever. Maybe it just needs to be nonchalant, Maybe part of this issue is so astutely paying attention to the market, so specifically paying attention to the market, that maybe I just need to be whatever. Like just casual, casual, just cash. Life is cash, you know, just cash. Just let's look at Twitter. What's going on here? What's this? Investor Stanley Druckenmiller on Bidenomics. Well, let's see what the billionaire legendary investor, Mr. Stanley Druckenmiller, has to say to Biden on his specific ideas of Bidenomics.
It's another, I think, issue of being, things are going well, and then we totally overspent in terms of
he really is a
as
legend
well in Bidenomics.
Bidenomics, if I was a professor, I'd give him an F.
Fail.
Basically, they misdiagnosed COVID and thought we were going into a depression. The Fed did too. I worried about it too in early days. The Fed eventually pivoted, better late than never. Treasury is still acting like we're in a depression. It's interesting because I've studied the Great Depression, and you had a private sector crippled with debt with basically no new ideas. So interventionist policies were called for and were effective. The private sector could not be more different today than it was in the Great Depression. Their balance sheets are fine, they're healthy, and have you ever seen more innovative ideas that the private sector could take advantage of now? You've got blockchain, you've got AI, you've got the whole thing. All government needed to do was get out of their way and let them innovate. Instead, they've spent and spent and spent. And my new fear now is that spending and the resulting interest rates on the debt that's been created are going to crowd out some of the innovation that otherwise would have taken place. We've got a 7% budget deficit at full employment. It's unheard of. And this is when you've got grid spending, you have, you've got defense spending, you have data center spending,
for AI.
And then, of course, you have green. Yep. So this spending is going to take place. You're going to build the capital stock. How do you build the capital stock when government is intruding with regulations and all this spending? And it's just sad because I think we're looking at one of the most exciting periods in terms of potential productivity and enhancing investments ever. And why we're spending like we're still in the...
Oh, wait, I want to pause this for one quick second. Apparently, Chris Pavlovsky from Rumble is speaking live right now. Something about, I guess, Brazil. Whoa.
Studio live streaming software.
Stands out as one of the most
in front of Congress?
figures in
Brazil, a crisis of democracy, freedom, rule of law, House Foreign Affairs Committee.
An absolute leader in audience ratings. UNDP.
For you today to discuss.
Professor of Brazilian Studies at the University of Oklahoma and an affiliated fellow at Harvard Law School Center on the legal profession. In Brazil, he served in the Ministry of Justice and the Institute for Applied Economic Research and consulted for UNDP, UNESCO, and International Bar Association's Human Rights Institute. Fabio is the author of high-impact studies of law, lawyers, and democracy. He's frequently sought after by the media to comment on Brazilian affairs. Chris, the floor is yours.
Get him, Cruz.
Chairman Smith, Ranking Member Wild, and members of the subcommittee, thank you for the opportunity to come before you today to discuss the importance of protecting the freedoms of speech and expression. My name is Chris Pavlovsky. I'm a native of Toronto, Canada, and the chairman and CEO of Rumble. When I founded Rumble in 2013, incumbent platforms had become beholden to large creators,
I'm going to speed it up just till we catch up to real time because it's happening live.
Rumble
so I'm going to run it at
provided an
1.5
alternative
just at
for
start.
Independent creators to speak their minds, express their opinions, own their narrative, build communities, and maximize their earnings. Our company was founded on a mission to protect a free and open internet, as we believe everyone benefits when there is a diverse marketplace of ideas, opinions, and dialogues. In late 2020 and into 2021, we realized the power of our mission as millions of users followed creators to the emerging platform, with little to no marketing. Some of Rumble's largest creators, including former Congressman Devin Nunes, Dan Bongino, Glenn Greenwald, and former Democratic presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard, also joined the platform during this time. As a result, Rumble saw its average monthly active users increase dramatically from 1.6 million in the third quarter of 2020 to 36 million in the third quarter of 2021. In other words, we saw an increase of 22.5 times the number of users in just one calendar year. In September of 2022, Rumble successfully went public, relocating our headquarters to the United States and trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol RUM, R-U-M. We've expanded our video content into new verticals like sports, lifestyle, hip-hop, and video gaming. Beyond the video sharing platform, Rumble now offers the Rumble Advertising Center, Rumble Studio live streaming software, and the Rumble Cloud. Freedom of speech and freedom of expression are the cornerstones of a democratic society. I know that's not a foreign idea to the members on this subcommittee who have witnessed these rights used to protest tyrannical governments around the world and inequalities here in the United States. Freedom of expression is so important that not only is it the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, but it is also Article 19 in the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Without these freedoms, we may have never learned the stories of Frederick Douglass during the abolition movement in the 1830s, or witnessed the civil rights movement of the 1960s, the women's rights movements of the 1970s, or the Arab Spring in the early 2010s. It is extremely troubling to me that in 2024, I have to come before the US Congress to testify that these fundamental rights are being threatened. For years, we saw platforms shadow ban ideas they did not agree with. It was subtle suppression of ideas and opinions that did not fit the norm as dictated by algorithms. Today, the censorship we see is much more overt. Governments are acting in ways we only imagined happening 50 to 60 years ago, openly asking platforms to censor and take down disfavored content. They are back in the business of thinking they know what's best, dictating and controlling conversations and stripping the human right to speak and share freely. These are not theoretical fears. These things are happening, and I know this personally as the CEO of a platform that receives demands from governments around the world. One of the first instances of government censorship we experienced did not come as a surprise, as it came from communist China. Communist governments often crack down on a variety of freedoms, including freedom of expression. However, we were surprised in 2022 when we received a request from the French government to block certain news sources. People can certainly question the trustworthiness of news sources, but it should not be any government's job to selectively eliminate access to information. Rather than comply with the French government's request, we simply disabled the access to the platform in France and challenged the legality of this demand. To be clear, Rumble has a strong set of content guidelines under our terms and conditions, but the content the French government was asking us to censor did not violate any of our terms. Instead, it was regarding Russian news outlets. Earlier this year, we received requests from the Brazilian government to remove certain creators from our platform. Again, the content did not violate our terms and conditions, but instead shared opinions that were unpopular in Brazil at the time. Rumble made a very tough decision not to comply with the government's request. As with France, we chose to disable access for our users in Brazil while we challenged the legality of the Supreme Court's demands. It does not stop there. Just last month, we received requests from New Zealand and Australia to censor politically unpopular content. Countries in every hemisphere, all of them members of the United Nations, are no longer upholding the human right to freedom of expression. This is getting out of control, and it should alarm everyone in this room. As this committee knows, the United States is involved in so many initiatives to protect democracy around the world. But when it comes to defending the freedom of speech and protecting American businesses who attempt to uphold this right in Brazil, the United States has been silent. It cannot remain so. It does not matter which platform hosts the content. Today it is Rumble, yesterday it was X, but tomorrow it could be the New York Times. The platform shouldn't matter. The universal right to freedom of speech and expression, the core of Western democracy, is at stake. America needs to step up and take a leading role. Rumble will never back down from our mission. We are the tip of the spear in this fight, and we relish that. We urge everyone, especially the US State Department, to join us. I'll close with one final thought. Every totalitarian regime that has crushed the rights of individuals has sought to control what people can say and hear. It's never the good guys doing the censoring. If the United States won't stand up for freedom of speech, who will? Thank you again for the opportunity to be with you today. I look forward to taking your questions.
Thank you so very much for your testimony. I'd like to now recognize Mr. Schellenberger.
Chairman Smith and Ranking Member Wild, thank you very much for inviting my testimony. Brazil has been a liberal democracy for over 30 years. During that period, there have been free and fair elections, people have been free to express their views, and it's notable to me that Brazil's own constitution specifically protects political freedom of speech. Quote, any and all censorship of a worker in their minds, including about the illiberalism of their country for fear of punishment.
Back to normal.
By Brazil's
live.
federal police and attorney general. The evidence suggests that the federal Supreme Court, the STF, and the Superior Electoral Court, the TSC,
options are still heavy.
Influence of a single justice
I would
named
not be
Alexandre
bullish
de
right now
Moraes
intraday.
Are directly interfering in elections by demanding the deplatforming of independent journalists and politicians on every major social media platform. Jay Moraes is not simply demanding that social media platforms censor specific content by controversial journalists and politicians. He is demanding that all social media platforms ban them for life, and he often does so through secret hearings without the right of appeal. It is important to stress this point. One cannot be a politician or an independent journalist in the age of the internet if you cannot communicate on social media. As such, the censorship in Brazil is the worst I have seen in any Western democracy. Jay Moraes has acted unilaterally to invent whole new laws, therefore interfering not only with elections, but also taking over the role of Congress. My involvement began on April 3rd, 2024, when I published the Twitter Files Brazil. They show Supreme Court Justice Jay Moraes had illegally demanded that Twitter reveal private information about Twitter users who used hashtags he considered inappropriate and demanded the deplatforming of independent journalists and politicians. 3 days later, on April 6th, X Corporation, formerly Twitter, announced that a Brazilian court had forced it to, quote, block certain popular accounts in Brazil. 1 hour later, X's owner, Elon Musk, announced that X would defy the court's order and lift all restrictions. 1 day later, April 7th, Jay Moraes announced a criminal investigation into Musk for allegedly spreading disinformation, obstructing justice, and allowing people who Jay Moraes had banned from social media to freely express their views. Jay Moraes said he would fine X $20,000 per day for every banned person Musk allowed to speak. On April 15th, X's top attorney in Brazil resigned his post, fearing for his safety. On April 18th and April 19th, Brazil's federal police published 2 reports that suggested that I was under criminal investigation for publishing the Twitter Files Brazil. The reports claim that the people whom Jay Moraes had demanded be censored had gained limited access to communicate on X, particularly through X's Spaces, which allows for live conversation. This is yet more evidence that Jay Moraes is obsessed with silencing his enemies. It was not enough for X to have blocked their profiles within Brazil. Jay Moraes also does not want those individuals to be able to use their voices. The federal police reports that singled me out suggested that it was somehow suspicious that I only have one paid subscription on X, which is to Elon Musk. But there's nothing suspicious about this. I am paying Musk, not the other way around. And as the police report notes, Musk takes a percentage of the revenue of the people who subscribe to my content on X. I will note, in a moment of irony and some levity, that this police report reproduced the banner from my profile page on X, which reads, "Defund the Thought Police." I took a small amount of pleasure in knowing that the Thought Police were reproducing a slogan against their mission. 3 days later, Brazil's Attorney General, Jorge Messias, urged the Supreme Court to pursue criminal prosecution, unquote, and investigation to, quote, identify and punish the possible culprits. His report named me specifically. At no point did the Attorney General suggest that either I or my co-authors, Eli Vieira and David Agape, lied or presented inaccurate information. Rather, the Attorney General's 6-page memo released publicly claims that I released, quote, excerpts of content from confidential judicial decisions in an attempt to destabilize the democratic state. But both accusations are also untrue. None of the Twitter Files Brazil contained any confidential judicial decisions. The Twitter Files Brazils were strictly emails between Twitter staff. There's not a single instance where we published confidential judicial decisions. But even if we had, the Brazilian Constitution reads, quote, the law may only restrict the publicity of procedural acts when the defense of privacy or social interests so require, Article 5. And in this case, it was imperative that we publish the Twitter Files precisely to protect the Brazilian public's right to privacy, freedom of speech, and democracy. What's more, this attack on me is highly selective. Brazilian news media have reported on confidential judicial decisions for years and not been subjected to such outrageous criminal investigation as the one I am under. Finally, there is no law in Brazil attempting to, quote, attempting to prohibit, quote, the destabilization of the democratic state through nonviolent means. The law only prohibits violent attacks on democracy. As such, the Attorney General abuses his power and acts as a lawmaker, usurping Brazil's Congress. And just imagine for a moment if Brazil criminalized something as vague as destabilizing the democratic state. Such a law would allow President Lula to lock up nonviolent protesters, journalists, and his political rivals. While in Brazil, I interviewed dozens of Brazilians, including professors, journalists, and respected lawyers. The vast majority told me they were shocked by what is happening and that they are too afraid to speak their minds about it publicly. We are at a very dangerous moment. Brazil's democracy is at risk despite its strong constitutional protections. Thank you for my testimony. Thank you for asking for my testimony.
Thank you so very much. I'd like to now ask Paulo if he would.
We are doing nothing today.
Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Wild, and distinguished members of the House, my name is Paulo Figueiredo, and I am the living, breathing proof of human rights violations in Brazil. For doing the work of a good journalist, I am censored in all social media. I have my assets frozen and my Brazilian passport canceled, all without due process. I come from a family with a long legacy of fighting tyranny. My great-grandfather, General Euclides Figueiredo, led a revolution against Brazil's most brutal dictator, Getúlio Vargas. For that, he spent years in a dungeon. His son, my grandfather, João Figueiredo, became Brazil's 30th president in 1979, tasked with ending the 15-year-long military regime. As president, he granted amnesty, held free elections, allowed multiple political parties, and by the end of his term, peacefully handed power back to civilians.
Look at this 1 minute
restoring
chart.
full democracy
Nothing.
in Brazil.
I still think we go down.
This legacy
I want to clarify. And my reasoning for that is options are dumping. Like I would not be making a bullish position right now.
Year of Brazil's latest
I think
presidential
we
election,
flushed down to
a political
517.
commentator on JP News, a TV network often compared to U.S. Fox News. The primetime show I was in had been voted the best in the country and had more viewers than the next two networks combined, including the local CNN. I had over 5 million followers across all social media with higher engagement than virtually any other journalist in Brazil. By any account, I was one of the most influential journalists in the country, until I started being targeted by a series of decisions from the highest court in the land.
Just watching the cues.
In December 2022, I had all my social media accounts blocked for Brazilians. Later, I learned that the order would extend to freezing my financial assets, suspending the confidentiality of my financial transactions, threatening exorbitant fines every time I said something that displeased Justice Alexandre de Moraes, and even canceling my Brazilian passport. I disappeared from my entire audience. This is the modern equivalent of being sent to a dungeon, as was my great-grandfather. In January 2024, following Lula's inauguration and the January 8th riots, Brazil's Department of Justice opened a case against JP News, accusing the channel of fomenting the revolt. Demonetized by YouTube, faced with new criminal case and threat of losing its public concession, JP News gave in and laid off all its conservative commentators and adopted a more Moraes-friendly editorial stance. I was unemployed with all my assets frozen and my work tools blocked. Rumble and locals promised to always stand for freedom of expression, so I joined quickly, becoming one of the biggest content creators on both, with 120,000 subscribers on Rumble and nearly 60,000 subscribers and 2,000 paid subscribers on locals. However, in December 2023, pressured by absurd orders issued by Moraes, with me being one of the main targets, I believe, both platforms closed access to all Brazilians. The financial loss has been unbearable. On February 8, 2024, Brazilian newspapers reported a new offensive against me. I was apparently being investigated for accurately reporting on primetime TV the behind-the-scenes meetings of the Brazilian Army's High Command in December 2022. In this investigation, a new measure was issued prohibiting me from having contact with former President Bolsonaro and any other person investigated, a clear intimidation tactic that hinders my journalist activities. There's one single name behind every one of these decisions. That's Alexandre de Moraes. Remember this name. He's the de facto dictator of Brazil. He's a Supreme Court justice, the head of the Superior Electoral Court, known as CSE, and the man in charge of the infamous
picking up on the spy and on the
which
cues.
began in 2019 and is still open. An alarming caveat. Through all this, my work was being carried out from my studio in Florida, where I have been residing since 2016. I have therefore been under the jurisdiction of this country the entire time, and consequently protected by the rights guaranteed in the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. American companies have been obeying legal orders directly from Brazilian judges without following international procedures and sharing data of individuals under American jurisdiction. This Congress should address this issue, as it is not only violates our constitutional rights, but also exposes an intelligence risk and potentially violates the FCPA. By no means I was the only journalist affected. On the same day, award-winning journalists and bestseller authors Rodrigo Constantino, present here in this hearing, and Guilherme
Look at that pickup.
were targets of nearly identical copy and paste decisions. Other journalists, such as Alan dos Santos, also present here today, had faced even harsher measures, including arrest orders.
Here, I need to turn that off for a second because I'm confused. I guess I'm simultaneously long and short, which I never like to be.
Target filled.
All right, well, some of them got locked in, but which ones? I'm confused. Down here? Oh, no. It cut some of these. Interesting. I think these are all still that, like the core. What time is it? It's 10:51. What just traded? Nothing really. Oh, a lot going on. Right now. All right, so everything did just pop, and it also was kind of like perfectly aligned with this options pop. Potential breakout, obviously. It might be worthwhile for all of us to pay attention to the intraday high being broken. Could be an interesting level. So I'm marking that out. We got the trend line break just for like the very short-term traders in here. What I find noteworthy about this is how hard the options pivoted. Like you could see they were down, and then all of a sudden at 10:47 ripped to the upside. And then the Qs actually had this flow alert where it dumped a bit more, and then at 10:27, almost front running it by 20 minutes, we saw some buyers, some bulls come into the world of the Qs. Right here, you can see them buying calls. The puts have been flat. If we look at the SPY, that movement was a little bit of call buying, but it was actually more of puts being closed, puts getting closed out. Interesting. Oh, I guess we'll have to wait and see. The puts that I had, obviously on this trend line break, I got out. I'm not going to risk it because if it just keeps going, I'd rather be on the call side. I was just kind of using that as my risk. So the DGen plays that I had. All right, are we going to keep trending this way? Is this the bottom of the day or is it just a trap? What are we doing? Might be going here. I can't tell. Where is everyone's mindset at? Everyone's mindset. Do you think this is just like that fake out pump for the actual drop? Or do you think this is the start of a trend reversal, classic? This might be anecdotal, but it feels like when the market does change, it's between 10 and 11. And this is that classic lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then it breaks out at 9:45, getting above the previous high in both the SPY and the Qs. You think we're going? Think it'll kiss 518, then we drop? Reversal? Well, we're kind of already reversing. There is a call wall on the SPY at 518 right here. I'm curious if it's going to get smashed off of this. That position that I've been in since like 940 on the Qs is still in, and as close as it was to hitting its profit, it still never did. And it feels like they're about to get absolutely demolished. Maybe I should just cut the position and I give myself a fighting chance. Should I just give myself a fighting chance?
Target filled. Order submitted.
Oh shit, now I'm in a lot of positions. What am I in now? 216. Okay, so yeah, I'm between different accounts, everything's just getting all sorts of fucked up right now. So 229 and 192. 229 and 192. 229. I'm going to manually trade this one. 229 know. Do I want to wait? Dude, I don't know. I'm all out of sorts. Is this the fake out breakout? I feel like no, I gotta intervene. 229,
Order filled.
192. All right, we're intervening. We're intervening. 192. We're gonna close this.
Order filled. Target filled.
2 of these are gonna get blown. Well, I could try to save them, but I think they're gonna get blown.
Order filled.
What is this one? 231. All right, we're doing some management, some crisis management, if you will.
Order filled.
Some crisis management, if you will. Okay, so we got some green things going live. These 2, it's going to be ballsy. New. What did I say? 231 and 231. And then what was the other one? 231 and 221. 231, 221. All right.
Target filled.
So we're on like a little bit of a savior. A little bit of a savior mission for these guys.
Target filled. Target filled. Target filled.
Nope, already.
Target filled.
All right, so 221 was lost. 221. Okay, so this account right here, gone. 221's gone. The 231 might be able to save it.
Target filled.
All right, money's getting locked in at some point. What a day. What a freaking day. Oh, you can't see. My apologies. So right here, I had to intervene, and these 31s, the down 500, 800, and 1,000, I intervened just like manually training those back to where I need them to be. This one on the bottom, the one that's down 2.2, that's gone. This account just died, unfortunately. But this one's the one that's down 1.9. I actually have the opportunity to save it. It has about $600 worth of drawdown. So I might do that. 231. 231. Actually, don't need this right now then. All right. How should we handle things? So the SPY just ripped. The Qs are going. Oh, brother. Throwing that in. Where's everyone in the Discord? Let me give you guys. I guess the vomit just never came. The market still wanted to be bullish today. What is today? The 7th. The 7th. What do we have? What do we have? Okay, if you are in the Discord, I just pushed May 7th. Okay, just pushed it live. If you guys aren't in the Discord yet, you could sign up. It's free. Just use the code Goonie. All right, so we are breaking out after this reversal, the old reversal. Bonds are looking good too. Meta, I have to pay attention to my meta position. All right. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's check in on options. Pretty much told you right when it was acceptable to go long. Trend, down, down, down. Wait. Pops up, goes flat. You get in on this, and we'll see where the rest of the day takes us. But the Q's fired a little bit earlier. I mean, from here, trending down, wait, patience. In here was the point to get in. Breaks to the upside. Obviously, your risk would have been this recent low just in case you don't get lucky with it. But what's so nice about this is it just tells you, hang on, wait for, like, it just helps you have a little bit more confidence in what in the world's going on. But right here, you can see on the 5-minute, green, 10 green, 30 green, 5-minute green, 10-minute green, 30-minute green. So touch, bounce, we're getting a lot of this. So I'm very happy I waited to not go like absurdly bearish on this, because the breakdown never actually legitimately came. I'm surprised. I really thought the SPY was going to get its downside gap though, and it still might, to be completely honest, because we have Kashkari speaking in about 30 minutes. So that guy, he's murked the market in the past. He definitely has the capability to do it again. But based on not, I guess, binary events such as that, just looking at the price action, green, daily up range. And then if we look at the NASDAQ, green, daily up range. Okay. And then the one thing I like to use as my final filter is what's happening in options. Options are finally picking up ever since 1047. If we look at the whole S&P 500 picking up 1047. If you look at the whole NASDAQ, picking up ever since 1027, hence why I just put on a bullish position. If you're curious about the bullish position, how I'm handling it, my risk, this, that, the other thing, that's exactly what the Discord is for free. And I want to clarify, you guys can get into the Discord for free if you use the code Goonie. Sign up for locals, become a supporter. Membership is free, supportership is not, but you can become a supporter for free if you use the code Goonie. Make sure, GOONIE, make sure that is actually accurately applied. And that's how you get in. So you'll get the newsletter, you'll get private lectures, you'll get access to the Discord to hang out with everyone. If you're in the Discord has a lot of scammers. I am not ever messaging you about copy trading, crypto, or anything like that. Double check. My name on Discord is MMK147. Double check that. If there's dashes or dots or duplicates or anything like that, extra letters, extra numbers, it is not me. I am MMK147, and I'm also not emailing you. My email is media@matthewkohrs.com. So if it's not that, it's also not me. I just want to put that out there because there are always scammers, not only in the YouTube comments, but Telegram scammers. There's always Discord scammers. There's a lot of scammers in the world of finance, especially in the world of crypto as well. So just want to put that out there, hopefully to protect some of you. But folks, that's pretty much what I have for you today. I was leaning bearish because the market said to be bearish, but then on this pump, obviously the bulls are now in control. So let's see if they can retain control. I'll obviously just be using not only the price action, but also the underlying information from Spot Gamma, aka looking at options, to kind of make the decisions for the remainder of my day. That's what I have for you. That's what I have for you. That's what I have for you. Thank you. If you want to trade with Apex's money, it's pinned to the top of chat. We'll be posting some content later on today. We'll be streaming again tomorrow morning. Kashkari speaks today. We have some earnings tonight, not like mega ones, but there are earnings you might care about. Tomorrow, we're not streaming early. We have more earnings in the morning. We have the 10-year note auction tomorrow, the 30-year on Thursday. If there's anything of incredible importance, I'll tweet it out. I'll put it in the Discord. I'll email everyone on the listserv. If there's anything that I feel is necessary for you guys to have, I'll make sure to get it out there. Overall, a screenshot of right now, it feels like the bulls have regained control. They were a little bit wobbly this morning, but I'm going to be looking for opportunity for the remainder of the day to see if I could take advantage of it. Anywho, that's what I have for you. That is what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate all the good vibes. I'll catch you later. Have a beautiful day. Peace.